Hello and welcome to the Collapse Experiment. Today is Thursday, which means it's the fourth day of feeling like complete garbage. Not sick that I know of, but Monday came around instantly from the moment I woke up until now. Just no energy, lethargic. And the thing is, nothing has changed as for diet, exercise, sleep. Well, I will say, for some reason, Sunday night, when I woke up Monday morning, it felt like I had not slept at all. But I know I got somewhere between 6 to 8 hours. I have the rest of the week. And yesterday was the first time where I woke up and I actually felt rested. But then within an hour or two after waking up, went right back down to just how I have been feeling all week. And I don't know what exactly has brought this on. I can tell you that some of the stuff that I've been taking, for one, Alpha Brain. And I will be doing a critical review on Alpha Brain when I am finished taking it. And I will say that no, I have not taken any today because it hasn't worked all week. And truth be told, I haven't really seen any results with Alpha Brain to begin with. Now, what I did have good results with was a nootropic. I believe it's called a 12-in-1, something like that, by a company called MedChoice that was on Amazon. That one was amazing. However, switching over to Alpha Brain, I believe I'm more than halfway through the bottle. The results have been meh. And I can tell you that for 3 times the cost of MedChoice and a lot of other alternative options that are available online, definitely not getting my money's worth. Now, this week, it could be due to a lot of external factors. As you can tell, we're having like nice, actually for some reason in this phone, it's showing more blue sky than I can actually see here. So perhaps this looks like a nice sunny day, but no, it has been cloud cover and cold and flurry type snow and rain and snow and rain for the last week. And one of the other factors, aside from the nice, beautiful weather that we're having, yes, sarcasm included, is that last week I had to get my car fixed. So that was just under $500. Doing the math, I'm like, well, it'll take me approximately a week to recover from this financially. However, and by that I mean, I'll just be paying my phone bill a few days later than I normally would have. That was the big difference, right? So I'm thinking, I'm doing pretty good. You know, this week I'll be able to get that done and then financially free the rest of the month. However, yesterday, the propane guy showed up. And if you live in an area or if you live in a state where your hot water and your heat is through propane, well, that was a nice $650 plus bill I was not anticipating. I know that we had like one cold snap that came through a couple weeks back, but it's April. You're like, oh, good. I'm done with this stuff. No more huge bills after so yeah, tomorrow I'll be paying the phone bill, and next week the majority of my pay will be going towards a propane bill, and then 2 weeks after that all the fun starts all over again. So yeah, that could possibly have something to do with how I'm feeling as well. It's just nonstop, the stupid grind, right? And the upside, addressing the shit show, aka work, the new boss seems to have I don't know, I think somebody had like a little sit down with him or a talk or something, because basically what the old boss was doing, which is hey, these guys know what they're doing, I'm just going to leave them alone. I don't know if he just decided to adopt a policy, or I don't know. He's made a few comments about work lately where we're both, yes, because there's only really two of us working that shift now, where we both kind of look at each other like, did he just say that? Because usually management, they're the people that are like, you don't talk bad about the company, blah, blah, blah. They're the greatest. The people above me are the gods of this company. No, like, there seems to be this consensus now of like, this is the weirdest shit. Who's coming up with these ideas? This is insane. How are we going to recover from all these bad ideas? So, no, it's kind of a surprise, but then at the same time, I was thinking the other day, I was like, is he just waiting to get comfortable to start doing all the same old stuff that he did beforehand? Which is my concern. It's like, after a couple weeks, you know, is it just going to go back to the same old, kind of like dating your ex all over again, right? Oh, she seems more appreciative now. And then a month later, it's like, oh, this is why we broke up. Yeah. Not that I've ever been in that situation. I've heard stories, though. Stories from friends that were just like, yeah, I think it's going to be different this time around. Okay. Good on you, dude. So, yeah, it's just been a whole lot of doom and gloom, I guess. A lot of gloom, not necessarily doom. The weird thing about the election that we just had not that long ago, I know it seems like forever ago, but if you think about it, like, the election was not that long ago. And a lot of the concerns that I had with the previous administration, for one, I would have to admit that I don't really pay attention to the news anymore. And it wasn't until this morning where I was just like, what is all this tariff stuff that everybody's talking about? Which, was I really concerned about it? No, because if you hadn't noticed, I don't really have any extra money to be spending on anything anyways. And considering that we don't import propane, no tariff on that. Gasoline, well, primarily we produce all of that here, so no tariffs on gasoline. Keep on going down the line. Maybe what? Video games, comic book shit that I don't buy anyways. So no, when it comes down to it, it's like, I don't think this is really going to affect me at all. Other than a bunch of people whining and complaining and bitching, which in reality, between YouTube and the rest of my life, it's pretty much the norm. So, in the meantime, what do I have going on? Well, April 15th, my children's book comes out, The Mouse Family of Tustin Hills. And I was planning on sending out some, what would it be considered? Basically some promotional letters to like small bookshops in the area. By the area, I mean like Cadillac, Traverse City, places that might carry something that's considered local for northern Michigan. I was considering doing that. Might still do it. Then there's the other book that I'm still, it's really just the cover. It's the coming down to the cover, doing the cover, and trying to figure out how I'm going to do that. Because at the moment, I don't really have the time or the opportunity to go back out to that area. I gotta check a few things to see if the photos that I did take of Deadstream Swamp last year, if I lost those when I got a new phone, or if I have them somewhere on the hard drive. So that'll be interesting. Otherwise, I'm going to have to figure something else out. I am about halfway through the great courses on, I believe it's Utopia and Terror is the title of it. Talking an awful lot about 1930s Germany, the communist revolution in Russia / Soviet Union / Russia, and how all that went down. And I believe it's going to get into a few other things, because it was talking about Saddam Hussein and Hitler and, you know, all the people that Trump is always compared to. Because why not, I guess, right? Just like Hitler. Probably going to get a strike in this video now, because I said the H word. But it's definitely a fascinating course that I'm taking. And then after that, I've got one really short one that should take less than a week to listen to about Buddhism. And then upon finishing that, I'll be going on to learning Japanese. Yes, learning Japanese. Because damn it, I am 45 years old. And ever since I was in my 20s, it's been one of my goals to learn that language. I want to be able to watch an anime or a TV show like Midnight Diner and not even have to read the subtitles. I think that would be awesome. So that is one of my current goals, is taking those courses and finishing that this year, which I have currently the Pimsleur Basic Japanese, and then following that, levels 1 through 5. There is a separate one, I think it's a separate one, where it's like conversational, but I'm gonna have to do some research before I even tap into that one and figure out, is this just the same stuff I already have renamed, which is likely, considering that these companies like to rebrand stuff that they've already had out for years. So I'm gonna have to look into that one. Meanwhile, this week has given me the impression that perhaps I need a bit of a break. Not necessarily a vacation, but this grind of Monday through Friday, constantly doing shit all the time, which between the two jobs is already a bit much. And I'm really tired of hearing this. You got 4 hours in between when you go to work. Okay. So yeah, it's not like I'm not doing stuff in that 4 hours. Like today, I'm going to be hauling a bunch of firewood to join that pile back there. Gonna try cleaning up the front of the property where there's a bunch of wood that's been set out to dry so it could be split. For some reason, even though it's on pallets and it's sitting out in the sun and it should be seasoned for a year, no, for some reason, just not happening. So I may have to invest in some tarps later or make some type of structure to store the wood under so that it's out of the elements. But that's what I'm going to be busy doing. Plus, we had some, actually this kind of reminds me of the spot where a couple guys went missing up here. It's talked about in one of my books, but had a tree that fell across this 2-track back to the cabin. I was able to take care of it, but at the same time, I do want to get some of this wood cut up and hauled away, get it out of the way. Or perhaps I could just line it up along the side of the trail. I don't know. I'll figure it out. But there are a lot of trees back here. A lot of birch trees that are dead that the woodpeckers have been working on that are eventually going to fall. And I'm looking at one right now that's probably going to fall across the trail. Not that far into the future. And yeah, I don't know what exactly kills these off, but they seem to have a very short lifespan. But that'll be the rest of my day. I've got about a cord of wood to load up in the truck. And I have a feeling that the transmission on the truck, yeah. So am I stressed out? Does it just seem like one expense after another? Am I really gonna invest in putting a new transmission into a $1,000 pickup truck? But might as well use it while I can, right? So anyways, that's about it for me today. Just hoping to feel better at some point in time. And I do have a coworker there's been a couple of us that have been kind of going through the same thing, I think. And perhaps it is just the weather. But he was saying, yeah, I started taking vitamin D and, like a day or two later, I immediately started feeling better. And I'm like, I've been taking vitamin D since 2020. So nope, that's not my issue. But hopefully I'll figure it out soon. But I'm going to take a day or two off from taking Alpha Brain. And if I'm just continuously feeling the same, well, then I know that Alpha Brain is not working for me. And it would explain why Joe Rogan says, like, yeah, I take like 4 of them before I do a 3-hour podcast. Funny, the dosage says 2. So is Joe admitting that the dosage isn't correct and for costing 3 times as much as everything else on the market? Should I really have to like double up on things and use it twice as fast in order to get the same results I was getting with an off-brand? Come on, Joe. Talk to your guys. You're going to have to tinker around with that formula you got going, because I don't know. There seems to be a lot of complaints online about low dosage, doesn't really do anything. That's kind of how I'm feeling. So anyways, that's about it for me today. Keep on typing.